Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is the latest installment in our continuing series about the Future Kings. My name is Dr. Eric King, and I'm Executive Director for Future Kings. For those of you who don't know, Future Kings is a not-for-profit organization that is designed to engineer great futures for young men in grades 6 to 12. We're giving these young men a competitive advantage over their peers toward the purpose of changing lives through STEM education. Tonight's topic is called It's Included. And I'm going to tell you a short story about why this is such an important topic for us. But I want to start by letting you know that investing in our young men is a very, very important thing to do. Whether you are investing time or investing money, investing in our young men is an important part of what we should be doing as active adults. And I can tell you from personal experience that the reward you gain by making that investment is much more than the investment. That the reward that you're going to gain by working with these young men is much more than any investment of time or money that you make. So here's a story that's designed to illustrate the point of how you get more by making the investment than you would expect. Take my personal history. In 1973, I was a young airman in the U.S. Air Force. I was stationed in Biloxi, Mississippi. As a young entrant into the U.S. Air Force, money was very, very hard to come by. I had to budget every single penny. And it happened to be Christmas time, and I wanted to drive from Biloxi, Mississippi, back to my home in Media, Pennsylvania. But money was tight. I had to really watch every single penny. And so when I looked at how much money I had and how far I had to go, I decided that all I was going to do was save all my money for gas and have 2 meals a day, and I could have $4 to spend on each of those two meals. I figured it was going to take me 2 days to make the entire drive from Mississippi up to Pennsylvania. And so along the way, the first meal I stopped at was a Waffle House. And in the Waffle House, I looked at the menu, and on the menu was a number of things, all of them appealing. I couldn't wait to eat. But when I looked at the prices, I knew I could not afford it. So I finally found something on that Waffle House menu that was within my budget. It had 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, 2 slices of toast, and coffee. And it cost $3.95, right inside my budget of $4. I said, this is great. This is exactly what I need. I'm going to have a great breakfast of 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, 2 slices of toast, and a cup of coffee. So I made my order for the waitress, who was very nice to me, and she said, when I took the order, and then she went back, and later on she came back to me and she said, Airman, can I get you anything else? And I said, yes, ma'am, I'd like to have a glass of water. And she cheerfully brought me back that glass of water. And I continued to wait, full of expectation, for my 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, 2 slices of toast, and my cup of coffee. And as I continued to wait with great expectations, because I was hungry by this time, I saw the waitress coming back. And she came back with 2 eggs, 2 slices of toast, 2 slices of bacon, and coffee. And she put it on my table. But then she also put a bowl of grits. I love grits, but I knew I didn't have any money in my budget to afford those grits. And so with shock and fear, I said to her, ma'am, I can't afford this. I only have $4, and from the menu, I can only get 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, 2 pieces of toast, and the coffee. I can't afford anything else. And she said, Airman, relax. The grits are included in your meal. That when you bought your 2 eggs and your 2 slices of bacon and your 2 slices of toast and ordered coffee, that automatically gave you the grits. So I'm happy. And there's the point with Future Kings, that so many things that we're doing, which are on the menu, that are empirical, that we can see and touch and plan and prepare for, are included in our menu. But there are so many other things that we're doing that are not included in the menu. So many other benefits that we get as part of Future Kings that are not on the menu. And that's why we say that the reward you get is much more than your investment. Let me give you an example. In our program, we are teaching certain types of technology. We teach cybersecurity. We teach computer game design. We have a program for biomedical sciences. And we have a program for engineering. And for each one of those programs, what we do is teach some hard skills. The young men do research. They do projects. They have to learn college-level material. They're taught by college-level professors. They get a number of things which are beyond what you expect them to get in grades 6 to 12. And they will graduate from high school with advanced skills in each one of those topics. They'll choose one of the topics, and they'll develop advanced skills in that particular topic. They have, and we can document what the training program is going to be, what's going to be on the program, what they're going to do, what the performance requirements are. All that is documented in our menu. But when these boys go through that program, there are so many other things that they get that were not documented. Oftentimes, and more than once, what we've seen with the young men in our technology program is that it spurs interest in entrepreneurship. What they like to do is find out, how can I take this knowledge and either take it to a higher level in college, which we also push, or begin making money based on what we do. We also teach what the career benefits, the financial career benefits for learning these skills. And the young men in the program will often try to match what they're learning with quick entry into the workforce so that they can also benefit from the training that they've gotten. In each of our technical skills, the young men earn adult-level certifications. And so entrepreneurship and finding ways that they can make money off what they've learned is something that is an included benefit. But even beyond that, they begin, because they know that it's hard, and they know that everyone can't do it, and they know that when they succeed, that they have proven that they are worthy, that often they have an enhanced ability to understand that they can be successful. That now they know that if they apply themselves and believe in themselves, they can make their goals come true. That is an added benefit. We don't advertise that. That's not on the menu. But they learn that they can succeed in areas where others fail. Another one of the benefits that is on that menu, another one of our programs on the menu is what we call 21st century skills. And with 21st century skills, we're teaching young men how to survive in the 21st century workplace. We teach them about giving presentations, about interviews, about how they should conduct themselves in a work environment, and a number of other things. All those things are documented and described in exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And someone who is a casual follower can look at that and understand the process that we're going through. But when they finish that, then they have gotten so much more, things which are not on the menu. For example, they have a confidence that is not typical for people in their age group. That confidence comes from the fact that they know this. That when you know what you know, then you don't have to be afraid of what you don't know. That you know how to attack new problems. You have a confidence that you can impact your own future. That you have certain types of innate knowledges that give you confidence that no matter what life presents you with, that you have enough skills, enough processes, enough taught strategies that you can design a solution for whatever it is. That is a confidence factor that comes in a program that we hadn't anticipated, but over and over and over again, we have seen that it's an actual result of our program. Something else that we found out is included, even though we didn't realize it, is just familiarity. So many young people don't know what their parents do when they go to work. They have no idea what's in the workplace. They have all kinds of fictitious ideas about what their parents do, what a work environment is, how their parents have to act, what the relationship is between a parent and that parent supervisor, what the relationship may be between their parent and someone that the parent must manage. They have ideas about what's in the workplace, and so many times those things are inaccurate. However, we found that because they are exposed to 21st century workplace training while they're in the program, that once they enter into a real work environment, that there is no surprises. Each summer we've had young men who will take summer jobs and who will interview, and we have often heard from both prospective employers as well as for the young men who were in the program that this was easy. This was something that it wasn't hard. They understood it. It was just like things that we had practiced, and they were very, very confident that, and it really builds on what they are learning, their motivations, but we hadn't thought that by exposing them and making them comfortable in the workplace, that it would make them more comfortable when they're applying for jobs, and that they would become better interviewers, and that they would feel prouder about their own abilities. We thought they were taking it more as an academic exercise, but in fact, it becomes part of their DNA, if you will, that they know this, that they can work, that they can be successful in the workplace, and that there is no hidden magic in going to work. But another one of the big benefits in making an investment in the Future Kings program is from the parents. We have parent meetings once a week. We send out notices to parents. We work hard at engaging parents in the instruction and training of their son. And even though we will document what's happening in the parents' meetings, what kind of things we're doing to help train their son, those things are on the menu, but they may not be as descriptive as other things that we might like. But some of the included benefits from this include networking. There's been an example of, even though we're not advertising in networking possibilities and advertising it, what we found so often is that parents who are in that group together find ways to work together, they share experiences, they talk, and they learn things about each other. We've had examples of parents that commute from Woodbridge to D.C. every day, work in the same building, and never met each other. And once they realize that they've been doing that, they wind up either carpooling together so they can ride in HOV lanes or other things that they do as just a way of working together. They would have never known that this was a benefit without that. Other times, we've found parents that find out that they are kindred spirits. When you are raising a young man, anyone knows that these teenage years can be very, very difficult. And so many times, parents think that they're the only ones going through what they're going through. So, in case it's a shock to you, boys in this age group like to eat. And they often eat a lot more than you thought they were going to eat. And you can't understand how this young man who started out eating just one little breakfast and not eating again until dinner, all of a sudden wants to eat everything in your refrigerator. It's something that happens as they come into their teen years. Don't be afraid of it. Just do what you can to keep that food on the table, because it's just one of the many things that they're all going through. But when you're in a room like that, and parents are talking about common experiences with their son, whether it be eating, whether it be discipline, whether it be trips, homework, whatever it is, parents are not alone. And by coming to the parent meetings and talking about that, so often we find out that we're not alone, that we can share experiences, we can share strategies, and things can get better. What worked for my son may work for yours and may not. But at least if you know what I did, you can decide if you might want to try it. And if you don't want to try it, no problem. We'll do something else. The most important thing about what you get that is more than any type of investment that you could make is the following. Often, when you work in a group with young men, you become inspirational to them. You become their inspiration. One of the speakers who came to, who volunteered his time to present to the Men of Future Kings, told a story about how he came from a household, a single-parent household, how his father had run out on the family, how his mother struggled to make ends meet, and he talked about some of the life changes that he had. But he also was able to talk to them about how successful he had become. And he wasn't bragging about it. He was only saying that he had come from very humble beginnings, and because he had applied himself and got some help along the way, that he was able to become a success in his chosen career. And his point to the young men was, if I did it, you can do it. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about me that says I'm the only one who can do this. If you put your mind to it and you want to do it, you behave the right way, you listen to people that have your best interests, you can be as successful as I was, as I am. And that message really, really resonated. And I remember some of the boys coming up to him after his presentation and saying, thank you, because I really felt the same way that you did. I hated my dad because of what he did to me and what he's doing to our family. And I thought I could never be anything. But because of you, I now think that there is hope, that I can be successful, that I can be somebody, and I will be a role model to not only my brothers and sisters, but I'm going to make my mother proud of me, and I'm going to make my father proud of me as well. And that came as an inspiration. So you can imagine how that speaker felt when he had volunteered his time to speak to these people and came up with such a humongous accolade. What a reward. And I just want you to understand that when you work with Future Kings, when you make the investment in our young men, what you're going to get back is so much more. In my story, I was able to get a bowl of grits, which I loved and which I feasted on, which I was so very happy to get. But when you work with the Future Kings organization, the rewards you're going to get might be a closer work relationship between members in your family. For example, we have one young man who's learned certain things about business that now he is able to work with his father in his his father's family-owned business. And we have lots of examples of that over the years. So there are all types of unforeseen benefits that are part of making an investment in the Future Kings program. And I invite each of you to find a way to make an investment in these young men, because I promise you, you will get more than what you give up. Thank you for being with us tonight. I hope to see you at our next meeting.